Nikola Vucevic has arrived. We're here, instant reactions. Nick NBA is here. He's under my name. I was so in shambles that I
It's all
couldn't
good.
even think to change the background, but we're
Now the
here.
quickness isn't it's fine, bro. We just gotta get this out quick, man. It's all good. How you feeling, man?
I'm bummed, to be honest with you.
Hey,
I did not want Simons to get traded. There were a lot of names that were thrown out there, and I mean, this is one that we talked about in the summer. But like now the season gone on, it doesn't make all that much sense. It makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. I'll let you go.
all right. Yeah, I doesn't make much sense to me, honestly, but I'm gonna try. So Simons, of course, was a guy that we were like when we traded for him. It's like, hey man, this guy doesn't play any defense. We're probably gonna have to attach draft capital to trade Anfernee Simons at this point. But he has progressed into a guy that has played defense very solidly and a guy that we knew can score. And now it's like, hey man, I don't know if we trade this guy. We're gonna extend him for a smaller price, all that. And now he's been traded for Nikola Vucevic, who I don't know, man, but I can't tell you what this deal does financially. The Celtics saved $6 million in this trade. They were about 4 point something above the first apron. The Celtics are now completely under the first apron. The T-Wolves were a team that got under it by trading Mike Conley. You know, they're going over there to try to get Giannis or somebody like that. We have completely gone under the first apron with this trade. Now, I'm not sure if that means more deals are to come, but I would say Nikola Vucevic and Simons are similar players as to like their offensive heavy guys. Now, we've seen Simons like come into his own as like a solid defensive player. Nikola Vucevic is 35 years old. They're both expiring contracts. Maybe this team just feels they need a center more than a guard, or again, we're under the second apron now. Maybe there's something else coming for like a cheaper guard. I don't know. But okay, here we go. From Bobby Marks, Boston's tax bill drops from 39.5 to 17. They of course get out of the first apron, but more importantly, they are eligible to sign a player waive that had a pre-existing salary of 14.1 plus. I don't know why that would be the most important thing, given like I don't see how many players will be bought out at this point. But yeah, man, there was no like tax mandate from owner Bill Chisholm on this year, and this gets them, of course, less under the tax. They're not completely under the tax, but this definitely gets them under the first apron. Maybe something else is to come. I have to give Brad the benefit of the doubt on this one. I don't love the trade, to be honest with you, but if Brad sees something, then I don't know, man. But they are both expiring contracts. So again, the Celtics keep all of their avenues open. These are very similar players at like their play styles, but Simons was a guy that's going to come off the bench and provide offense. Nikola Vucevic is a guy that's going to provide offense. It's just at a different position now. So I don't know what's going to happen. Also, I don't know what's up with these second round picks. I don't know why we swapped second round picks. I don't know
Did they
the details. Huh?
Let me see.
No, I don't know like what if it's like we're getting Chicago's 2026 second round pick. Like I don't know, but I don't know what the years are on the second round picks.
Oh, I didn't even notice the Celtics got a second round pick. Yeah, you're absolutely right. This is tough because
It is, bro.
the idea behind trading Simons, partially all right, so let's start talking about good things. All right. Good thing, you said it, they're underneath the first apron now. They've cleared that. So now they just are one step closer to shaving underneath the luxury tax if they decide they want to do that. You said it. There's no mandate from ownership for them to do that. Vucevic gives them a proven starting center, but he doesn't come without his weaknesses, right? Like he's not super versatile
Yeah,
defensively. Like he's
that's my
really
thing.
not even that impactful like down low. He's a big body though, which means like if you go against a powerhouse guy, you're gonna have somebody you can rely on to stay out there, probably not foul a ton and all of that. Plus he can stretch the floor on offense and shoot threes really well. Like he had a great 3-point shooting game a couple weeks ago in Chicago against the Celtics. And I'm sure that was, as they say, a tryout game for Nikola Vucevic. And then when you think about the long term stuff, the partial point of trading Anfernee Simons, at least the way Jack and I talked about it at nauseum leading up to this, was okay, great. If you trade for somebody who's on a long term contract, you have extended your window for winning. You have a starting center that you can depend on. And like they could extend him, they could bring him back on a cheaper contract. I'm sure that will be what ends up happening to him, regardless of where he goes. I don't think he's going to get 20 million again. But
Yeah,
in this situation, there were so many other names that we had pontificated about or thought about, and this is just not the one. I mean, that's how Brad works, though. Nobody was sitting here thinking that Brad was going to go and get Jaren Jackson after we heard that they were going to go after Jaren Jackson. It's just not the way things go here. The good news is, in my opinion, I like that they didn't gut out assets. If you want me to feel great about one thing, it's that they didn't go all in. They didn't push all their chips in to go get somebody who isn't necessarily proven, and they gave up a bunch of first round picks. Like you can feel how you want about Vucevic as a player, and you can sit back and say he hasn't really made any deep playoff runs. You don't know what you're going to get from him in those situations when teams really dial in and exploit weak points in series. But what did you risk in this? You lost Anfernee, which sucks. I like him. I was so impressed with his work and the way he improved as a player this year and was willing to commit to winning in Boston. And I did think he gave the Celtics a necessary scoring punch on nights where Peyton and Derek don't have it, because Jalen has it almost every night. But beyond him, there hasn't been a ton of consistency. And it just gives you an extra card to play if you need extra scoring. But to be fair, Vucevic does too. It's just a little different.
yeah. I when people have pitched the Nikola Vucevic trade to me, it was just like he definitely like not kills, but he definitely lowers the defensive versatility that the Celtics like thrive on. And the team is gonna have to cover for him on that end. Now I don't know how like if I think his value does go up on a team that doesn't have to play him like 27 minutes a night. Like if like we don't have to play him that much, to be honest with you. But I just didn't think that he was gonna be the one that we trade for. And like I pitched not I pitched, but I posted a picture, right? It was Simons in a 2031 first round pick for Nick Claxton. People were telling me that they would not trade Anfernee Simons for Claxton straight up, which is like I don't feel any type of, you know what I'm saying, but like we basically just traded him straight up for Nikola Vucevic. So I want to see what I don't think people are going to be um excited about this one, to be honest with you, but I really want to see what the second round picks are because we gave up one and we got one back. I kind of want to see like who gave up the best second round pick just to like gauge who thought their player was more valuable with this deal. Like I would say that Simons is more valuable than Vucevic is, but maybe the fact that the sellers were able to get under the first apron means something here. So I don't know, but something had to be like, hey, bro, like they probably talked to Simons and like had like a price point of like, hey, we think you're doing a great job here, but this season we're looking at like 15 million, 17 million. He's like, you know what? I think I'm worth more than that. The Chicago Bulls just keep getting guards. By the way, they just traded for Jaden Ivey. Then they just traded for Anfernee Simons. They got Kobe White, Trey Jones, Io DeSumo, So they have. I would hope they're about to do something else. I seen a tweet about Kobe White to the T Wolves. Not sure about when that's gonna happen, but yeah, for the Celtics, it definitely it lowers the tax bill from 39 to 17. They get under the first apron. You get scoring in a different area, and I think Vucevic, like I don't even know how he's really playing this year. I haven't tuned into the Chicago Bulls a lot until like they play us, but he's as I know him. So all right, so this season he's averaging oh shit. Hey, Vuce got him. He averages 17 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, shooting 50-38 from the field in 30 minutes.
You're moved a
So
little bit.
nah, I'm
You're
like,
perking
no.
up.
I know who this player is. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think he was having this
I wasn't doubting that.
year this year. I didn't know he was playing this good this year because it's the Chicago Bulls. Like he's 35 years old. But this is like Anfernee Simons in a center. Like they're just guys that are going to provide offense, and Vucevic helps with the rebounding a little bit, but the Celtics have like completely wiped those issues away
Yeah.
this past month or so. So, hey fellas, does this trade mean Tatum is coming back this season? I'm not sure. Now, Sam, I'm gonna ask. Yeah, let me ask you this. So, if let's say that Tatum is coming back at some point, right? Do you think a center is more valuable with Tatum or like a sharpshooter like Simons?
I think it is the big man, right? Because
Right. Okay.
Tatum definitely gives you rebounding. It gives you another big body to have and to aid your rebounding struggles. But like you mentioned it, the Celtics over the season went from 28th to 26th to 23rd or 16th to 9th in rebounding month by month. They had their best rebounding month of the season in January. Jalen was a huge part of that. He upped his rebounds over 1 a game. Anfernee Simons had I think double the rebounds he had in any month last month. So like he definitely made more of an effort to get on the glass. But as far as Tatum is concerned, Vucevic is a good fit next to Tatum too, because I don't want to like steal valor here or false advertise Vucevic, but he has offensive similarities to Al, right? Think about how well Al fit next to Jason and how often they were able to stretch the floor and kick to him in the corner in late game situations or anything of that matter. They can use Vucevic in a very similar way on offense. And he has a big body and I'm going out on a limb to say he sets mean screens. And that has been the name of everything big man Celtics this season. So the fit probably makes sense. If you're Brad Stevens, you're doing all the tape, you're reviewing everything, you're talking with your team, you're having meetings. This is not just oh no, it's February 3rd, we got to do something, call the Bulls. Like this is a calculated thing. They probably think about this for a while, and they're probably looking to see if they could get anything better.
And a very fair point is, okay, I know that Vucevic isn't a defensive guy, and I've already said he damn near kills our defensive versatility. But guys, can we think back to what we all thought of Simons as a defender when we traded for him? It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. And Joe turned him into a solid defender. That's all he had to be. That's all he had to be. I'm not saying he had to come in and be this this elite defender. He just had to not be a bottom 5 defender in this league. And Joe has turned him into a guy that showed effort, right? He like played hard, like he did those things because he was in Boston and he was playing for Joe Mazzulla and the Celtics. So like I don't know if we can get Vooch to get out of his body on defense. I'm not saying that, but like I don't know. I don't know, bro. I really don't know. But you mentioned Al Horford. I think Vucevic is a more versatile offensive player than him. But as you said, like the pick and pop, like it's a lot harder for centers to guard centers that shoot threes than for guards to guard guards that shoot threes. Hopefully that makes some sense because a center's first instinct is to guard the paint, right? And with Vucevic being able to pop, being able to hit the mid range, being able to post hook, being able to take it, being able to do all that stuff, it helps, bro. It helps. Now, I'm not saying I like this trade, but Brad Stevens has gotten me to think that he can make magic with any fucking thing, bro. So I see the similarities in Simons and Vucevic's offensive production. The defense is obviously something that I I I don't like, obviously, but we didn't like Simon's defense when he came here too. So let's try to give Joe some Vooch off the bench or Kada. I'm getting Vucevic off the bench. I ain't gonna lie to you. But again, he's a veteran. He's 35 years old. He's still a good offensive player, bro. And the passing too, like, is I don't know, man. So we're just gonna have to see. And I think Garza tries super hard, right? But I don't think Garza is a good defender. You know what I'm saying? So what's the drop off between Garza and Vucevic defensively? Like, I don't know. I don't think it. I hope it can't be that large from Garza to him. So again, I don't think he's a good defender. I'm not saying that at all. But Garza, in my mind, is neither. He just plays hard as shit. So hopefully, man. Hopefully.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to be worse than Garza. And I love Luka Garza. He tries so hard, and that's what makes him a really great fit for the Celtics team. But with Vucevic, you're bringing him in probably because you don't necessarily trust both guys that you have in like a playoff setting, right? It doesn't mean that Brad Stevens is looking at his roster and being like, these guys stink. We can't win with Nimi and Luka Garza playing center in our rotation. But he's like, look, when the playoffs come, you need somebody who can really move the needle for you in some way. And neither of those guys have like a glaring skill that you're like, I need that guy on the floor. At least with Vucevic, you can talk yourself into if he's going to be out there for the Celtics in a late game situation, he gives you spacing. He makes things easier for Jalen. He makes it for Derek. If Derek ends up being the ball handler, Peyton, who has been tremendous at keeping his dribble alive, going into the paint, weaving it out of defenses. Giving them an extra kick out option gives this team a little bit of a new look. Like, sure, is it intentional a little bit that teams leave Luka Garza wide open for three? Yes, he's shot threes really well this year. But think about how many open looks they've been able to create for Garza in certain actions. Like, you can see more of that for Vucevic, who's a proven shooter, as a guy that like teams are like, oh, we have to cover this guy. And you made a great point about the centers. Like, one, they're like, I have to cover the paint. That's my responsibility. And two, they're slow. It takes them longer to get out and to get into the perimeter area. Without further ado, Jack is here. He's loading in. He's outside. Are you outside the arena?
I'm in Dallas. We were at lunch and it happened. Sorry, can you hear me? Am I coming through?
I can hear you.
All right. Yeah, no. We were at lunch in Dallas and the trade came through, so I just immediately wrote and tried to join as quick as I can, but it dropped at the end of our lunch. We were about to leave, and we just had to like loiter in the restaurant and write our articles. We were trying to get shuffled out by the waiter. Whew. Okay. Hello, everybody. Oh my God, there's so many fucking people in here. Holy shit.
Talk to me, man. Talk to me.
Okay, listen.
You nervous? Did you just get stage fright?
No, but I read it in my brain. That number usually says like 140, but it's 10x. My thought. Okay, so listen. I like Simons a lot. Right, I had come to like him not only as a player but as a person. Just like talking to him, knowing Simons, he was very nice to talk to. He was a cool dude, and the story of his improvement in Boston was great. I think this is objectively a good news because I explained this to you when we were talking about a potential Simons trade. Sorry about the wait. We were talking about a potential Simons trade a couple days ago. The Celtics can win when Simons doesn't shoot well. The Celtics have ways to win, very clear pathways to win. When Simons isn't on, you put in Bailey, you put in Ugo, you go defense, you put in wings, you run a bigger run. if one of Nini or Garza is out, and I'm sorry to say it, Nick, the options of Amari Williams or Baylor or Ugo in center is not great. But it's not great. You know it's not great.
Yeah, now you're good.
You're
So
gonna make him
adding
leave the
another
stream.
guy, adding another guy who can really, really play, like Vooch can play. I know he's a little bit older. I know he's a little slow in the defensive end. He's gonna have to play some drop defense, but a guy who just knows how to play at center, I think it takes the ceiling of the team to another level, right? Like you add another rebounder, you add another big, you add another great screener, which I'm excited to look at for maybe a little video while I'm on this trip.
Trust me.
That dude's gonna set some motherfucking screens for Peyton Pritchard and Jaylen Brown, right? Great short roll passer.
You should be proud of me. That was like one of the first things I mentioned.
Yeah.
I was like, he's big. He's got to be good at screening.
So, I think it's going to help for the overall improvement of the Celtics, even though I like Simons a lot.
Yeah, I'm bummed to see Simons go, but I think we're all a little bit spoiled, aren't we? The way the Celtics have been built the last couple of years, just about everybody, like having Horford in the fold really makes this true. Everybody can defend, everybody can switch. There's really not a lot of different mismatches teams could hunt in the playoffs, right? With Vucevic, it's different, but at the same time, he is somebody who is dying to be on a good team. Like, how many times towards the end of his tenure in Chicago, he's like, man, I'm fucking sick of the playing. I hate it. I don't want to play in these stupid games anymore. And like Jake Fisher put out a tweet that he was in Chicago for the Celtics Bulls game a couple weeks ago for the Derrick Rose night, and Vucevic was dying to go join a contender. So if you don't think that he's going to bust his ass to try and contribute any way he can, it might not even be up to that either. Like, he's 35.
Did you see
physical limitations? But yeah, he's going to try.
All I've thought is the clip of him hating Buzelis and Jalen Smith when they were trying to celebrate after they barely squeaked out a win. That's all I can think of.
That's the first thing I thought of, bro. They lost. They barely beat somebody in a game where they weren't even. It was not even supposed to be
like the Wizards.
Close. Yeah. It was like a 124 to 122 against the Wizards, and everybody was happy. He was like, bro, this is not how we're supposed to be playing. And like, hey, listen, I know somebody that's happy, and it's fucking Nikola Vucevic, bro. So we'll see. I'm gonna make sense. Listen, I need looking at his numbers is kind of moving me, bro. And
Vooch can play, bro. He can play. He just knows how to play.
Hey, on offense, bro, like him and Simons is like they're the same player offensively. There's somebody that's gonna come off the bench.
Is he?
Points. No. I mean, like not like place, like not the same play style, of course.
No, I'm asking, is he gonna come off the bench?
Oh, I don't know, bro. I don't know. That's different.
I was talking to Noah, and I said I think he'll come off the bench, and she was convinced that he's gonna start. He hasn't come off the bench regularly outside of injuries since his rookie season. So there is some stuff to consider.
We also had this same exact, bro. This is so similar to the Simons shit, bro. Listen, bro. Listen. Simons and Vucevic, really, really good offensive players, bro. Really, really good off. Like, bro, Vucevic, 17 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists on 50% from the field and 38% from 3, bro. Like, Simons is a sniper. Vucevic is a sniper. It's just like, okay, would you rather have that as a guard or big? Now, again, the similarities. Defense, Simons, not a defender. Vucevic, not a defender. But again, like, we saw how Joe put into Anfernee's like, hey, bro, if you want to play here, you got to defend your ass off, right? And I think Vucevic is a veteran, bro. I don't think he could be much worse than Garza defensively. Like, if we can survive with him in and he can actually be impactful and not kill us on that side, like, I think Vucevic can, like, not be a detriment type shit. So we're just gonna have to see. Now, he is old. He's 35 years old, bro. But he is still a guy that can really play offense. And it just goes to, hey, would you rather have that offensive production at the point or the center position. That's really what it comes down to. And it's if you think that the Celtics need a guard more or a center more, it's just there's a lot of similarities here. But
the Celtics
we'll
just
see.
listed Anfernee Simons out for personal reasons today.
Bro,
so take that for what you will for another individual that's listed out. But yeah, Anfernee Simons not playing at the arena where Jack is later on today.
Yeah, no, he's not going to be in Dallas. For what it's worth, I didn't see Chris Boucher here either to shoot around. So,
do you think they like? Did he try? I hope he didn't travel.
Probably
No, right?
not. I don't know for sure. I mean, listen, this is pure like Windy Fingers, like speculatory tinfoil hat. But when he came off the floor at TD Garden the other night after he won on that heater, he looked a little too sentimental, dapping up his teammates. It looked like there was like it looked like he was like, I don't know, like it felt like that was his last game at TD Garden. I will say though, and I know this is hell of a game. This is a Celtics stream. What the fuck are the Bulls doing? What is happening?
Dude, they're trying their best.
Listen. Jaden Ivey, Mike Conley, Anfernee Simons, Kobe
White, Trey Jones.
Josh Giddey. Trey Jones? What are we doing? What's happening?
Small ball.
I forgot about Conley.
Sam. What are we doing?
But
what's happening?
So they have to have a trade somewhere down the pipeline for at least two of them guards. Like at least two. And like I saw a tweet about Kobe to the T-Wolves. I don't know how real that is. I think Ayo could really help a lot of teams. So maybe they have deals lining up, but Simons is an expiring contract. I think Conley is expiring, or he has 1 year after this one. Trey Jones isn't that expensive. Jaden Ivey is a guy that they're gonna have to pay in the off season. Josh Giddey's is already locked up, so I don't know what the hell they're doing, but I will say these trades are better than the ones they were making a couple years ago. They got Sarge in 2 seconds in the DeAndre Hunter deal, which was cool, and then they were able to get Conley and Jaden Ivey earlier. So I don't know, man. I don't know what Chicago was doing, but this is not the trade I expected to come down the pipeline for the Celtics. But here we are.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see the fit because one point we've touched on the stream several times is we all were like, this dude, Anfernee Simons, can't play defense for shit. He was literally, I mean, he was talking about how like Joe Mazzulla had to be like, you're not as bad as they say you are. I do wonder if Joe's going to be like, hey, Nikola, you're not as bad as all the people in the Nick NBA. How about them Celtics chat said you are? Can you imagine if he just was like online looking at the reaction? He just found his way in.
Listen, I think the biggest thing, I think people are trying to like contextualize this, at least in my opinion, too much as you gave up Simons for a 35-year-old, like et cetera, et cetera. He's also on an expiring first, under the first apron.
Yeah,
trade gets you under
that's the first. That's the first thing I said. That's the first
right?
thing I said.
Sheds you $4+ million, right? 2, it is more important, like you were talking about, Nick, to have a big man than Anfernee Simons. Unfortunately, right? Like it sucks, and I like Ant, but there were just too many nights where we had, like we watched Joe Mazzulla have to go to a small ball lineup. Like it was very clear you didn't want to go to a small ball lineup. You didn't want to have to play Baylor Shireman at center. You didn't want to play Ugo Gonzalez at center. But either Luka Garza fouled out, or Nemish Queta was sick, or something happened where, or one of them just wasn't very good, or Nemish Queta was just fouling a lot and like, because these guys are still young. Garza and Queta are still young. They're still not going to have it on a night-to-night basis. You now have a guy who is another option. You have 3 playable centers. That is something you didn't have before, right? Amari Williams is going to get there, right? Shireman was fine for small ball. Josh Minott could. You now have 3 playable rotation-level centers. Vucevic is playing 31 minutes a night right now. He's started every game for the Bulls this season. He is a good basketball player. Like averaging 17 or whatever it is, 9 and 4. Does he average 21? I don't know how much he averages. Like he can play.
Also, Vucevic, last season, 73 games, Season before 76 games.
He
Season before
plays.
82 games. Season
This is
before
what I'm saying.
73 games.
You have a guy who's available, who can play quality minutes, who knows how to play quality minutes, right? Like, I saw a couple things that are like, oh, this is Porzingis loving him. This could not be any different to Porzingis. Just because they're two foreign white guys doesn't mean they're the same. This could not be any different to what Porzingis was. This is a guy who plays every single game. He'll play 30 minutes. He'll get, into the nitty gritty. He'll get down and dirty. He'll do whatever he needs to do to win. He's not a great defender, right? He's not. He's not a great defender. But neither is Luka Garza, and he's playing more minutes than he ever has. And if there's anybody I can trust to get the most out of an individual player, it is Joe Mazzulla. Like, it is just, it makes way more sense. Plus, if we're talking about, worried to bring them back this summer, I would bet a lot of money that Anfernee Simons makes relatively the same as Vooch or more. Like, I don't think it'll cost a lot to say, hey, Vooch, do you want to come back? You want to come back on, 12 million for the next year or two, right? Like, I just think it'll be a lot more reasonable to try to retain Vooch than it might have been to retain Simons. So I like the move. I think it's smart for this team. I think it's smart for next year's team if you want to contextualize it that way. And especially for when Tatum comes back, you need another big more than you need a ball handler.
Jack, let me ask you that. A lot of people are saying this signals that Tatum might be coming back because you traded for a 5 instead of a guard. And I asked
a 5 who's expiring too.
5 who's expiring, who's older. And I was like, all right, let's say that Tatum is. What's more important, an offensive center or an offensive point guard? So I'll hand that over to you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think it's more important to have a center. I don't think it means necessarily that Jason Tatum is definitely going to go back any sooner than he would have otherwise.
Right.
If I had to guess, and this isn't me knowing anything, I don't know anything. I'll make that clear. I don't know anything. They probably checked in on other guys, right? We've heard they've checked in on Ivica Zubac. We heard rumors, at least, that they might have checked in on Jaren Jackson, right? We know they had interest in other guys who were on longer-term contracts, but maybe this is all that was available. Maybe this is all they could muster up at a reasonable draft price, right? Maybe it was like, oh, we want 2 firsts for Zubac, and they're like, we don't really want to give up that draft capital flexibility moving forward. Right? Yeah. What's up?
It's not a trade, but Iko Scotto said the Celtics previously proposed Anfernee Simons, a first-round pick and a future first-round pick, swap to the Clippers for Ivica Zubac, which we already knew, which the Clippers declined. But Boston also inquired on Jaren Jackson Jr., which I don't know how that would have went, but Boston lands Nikola Vucevic. So I'm still trying to see what these second round picks is. Maybe
that's
nobody cares except for me, but I still want to see what these second round picks is. But yeah, I'm sorry, Jack.
No. I think I want to know. I want to know what those picks are too, obviously. But I just think it's just like a roster balancing thing to me at this point. Like, I think having another big gives you a higher floor and maybe even a higher ceiling. Like, I just think having Simons wasn't a bad fit, and he was finding a way to impact winning. But there are so many more options to go to when you had Simons playing bad than if you had Nemish Keita or Luka Garza playing bad, right? Like, just run forwards, run one guard lineup. Like, now you can theorize lineups where, you just didn't need Simons to have a big game all that often. And especially when Tatum comes back, you wouldn't need Simons to be a 15-point per game scorer. You need another big who can screen, who can rebound, who can play down low, who can, at least battle with the bigger guys, right? And now you have that. And it makes so much more sense for the structure of their roster in terms of positional fit, regardless of, even just in the short term, regardless of the contract length. And I think people are underrating Vucevic as a player because he's old, and I get it, but he can still lead. I am outside of a coffee shop. I'm gonna go get a coffee, so I'm gonna jump off the stream for now because I don't want to sit at this place without purchasing anything.
We can wrap it because I got to get going in a second.
Okay.
Too.
Oh, I forgot you guys are an hour ahead. So yeah, I'll let you guys wrap. Appreciate y'all. But
all right, thanks for coming. We'll see you in a little while, Jack.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother.